Anyway, that right now I think only means, well, the exit, which is currently completely blocked off, which we can't go to. Although, ooh, we could go, yeah, directly to here. Exits. Well, first things first. I think we have got an epilogue to go to. Which surely will be interesting. Though that does beg the question. Is this an epilogue to the Stanley Parable? Or to the Stanley Parable 2? And also, why would there be an epilogue already at a game conference showcasing the Stanley Parable 2? I'd say that doesn't make any sense, but at the same time, we're holding a Reassurance Bucket, and we got angry over the fact that a button that says Jim was removed. Honestly, these kind of environments are rather dangerous, gotta say.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley?
Oh, wait,
yes.
what?
Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah, but the end is never the end, and it's never the end, so how does that work? The little stuff that your eye falls on. Oh, God. Well, so much for an epilogue. But again, the end is never the end, so how can there be an end? And how, thus, can there be an epilogue? Although, to be fair, there was an end, or there was a credit section in the original game, so yeah. I think we've seen everything. Well, the settings world champion, no. It's just a random door that won't open. Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket we did. We got the office decorations. Collectibles, Infinity Hall we did. Yeah. Stupid free achievement. Doesn't work. Well, I guess that is everything then. Maybe I missed something, but as I said at the start of this playthrough, that is totally fine if that ends up being the case. Also, what the hell is that art? It's just weird in general.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
I think I
Ready
did.
to move on now?
Yeah, someone left their purse, bag, thing. Is that me? Stanley. I kind of like the idea of the Stanley Parable 2. New mug. Definitely liking the new mugs too. Okay, again, no screenshots. That's fair.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
Well,
yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet
yeah.
how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere.
But you should focus on the
Let's do an
story.
experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
I
Here it
don't
is.
think so.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
There are more jumps available.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on,
figurine.
let me do a different arrangement.
I don't
Yes,
think that will
yes,
work.
This is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Version 2? Whoa. I think you just
Who am I
stuffed the
kidding,
epilogue in
Stanley?
there.
This isn't a coherent
Jim,
video game at
Jim,
all. It's a lot
Jim,
of gags.
Jim.
And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
That's true.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game.
Which is
I
difficult.
wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well,
Expand
insert
it?
a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
Maybe.
With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
That would
Would it
be...
possibly work?
Yeah.
I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2.
I
Let me see if
guess
I
that
can whip
could
something
work.
up.
I mean,
All right, perfect.
insert a
Go
new
ahead.
ending here and there.
Take a look.
The Stanley Parable 2. Okay. I mean, it does portray the entire being of the endless hallways, and it keeps shifting all over. Although, I'm not too sure. It's giving a lot of creepy vibes, especially with the whole redness going on. I mean, it's good, but at the same time... I guess we just begin the game and see what we get for the Stanley Parable 2. Although, to be honest, are we going through that door or are we going to the right? Where are we going? It's just endless hallway after endless hallway. Ah, what a nightmare. But at least it's a fun one. Alright, begin the game. Let's see. Is everything still the same?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I mean, we're not skipping the entire speech yet again.
Stanley worked for a company in
We
a
have
big building
balloons.
where he was employee number 427.
Why do we have
Employee
balloons?
Number 427's job was
Oh,
simple.
very
He
simple.
sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
And we're good at it.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk,
Hello.
telling him what buttons to push.
We don't have
how long
balloons in
to
our
push
room.
them, and in what order.
Maybe for good reason.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
I mean, no one would
And Stanley
accept the job that we have got, so... As long as we're
And
happy.
then one day, something very peculiar happened.
The Stanley Parable
Something
2.
that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
Honestly,
This
the
complete
balloons are just so
isolation.
random right now.
Something was very clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And I still wish it were the blue balloons. Why are it the stupid white balloons? I don't want to get,
All
well,
of his co-workers were
someday.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Stupid
No
balloons.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
So, did everything just reset to normal now? Except now we have balloons? Is that what this is? That is not what this is. This is the Stanley Parable 2 with the Reassurance Buckets. On a lovely pedestal. My Valentine. New mugs all over the place, right? Who farted? I think that's an old one. Unsure. Still stupid. Okay, we need a jump circle ASAP because I want to jump around. Fine. Bucket? You're coming with me. Because we know of a place where buckets are not allowed.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Yay. Why Stanley did that? He had no clue. He just felt reassured by it. And the new content is gone. Okay. Well, Buckets, you're not reassuring me right now.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, either we are still dealing with the same path that we are on right now, or this is just the Stanley Parable 2, and there are no voice lines for me having the bucket in my arms. We're going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
And we gotta listen to the buckets. I'm gonna take the bucket to the broom closet. Are you really telling me that there is now voice lines everywhere
And
for
here
the
it was. Had the bucket turned
buckets?
out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
It is!
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was.
No, it
How
is.
insightful the bucket turned out to be.
The bucket would never lie to me. It's so glorious, but it is time to move on. Or is it, Bucket? Should we stay a little bit longer inside of the meeting room? Or the lounge?
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure.
Yes.
Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
And I'd never be able to do this without the buckets. Right? Buckets? You are my
Perhaps
best bucket
this was
friend.
where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Well, maybe the broom closet could work for you, Buckets. But we're gonna have to go there some other time, because right now, well, technically we would still be
Stanley
able
decided
to.
to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
I'm still amazed by this right now, and it's so simple. Yes. I'm now thinking, did everything get extra voice lines in regards to you holding the bucket? Did everything now slightly change? Meaning that technically there is an entire second game in here, even though you are replaying everything. But you're doing it for the voice lines anyway, right? There's now so many more plays I want to revisit. So much is possible. But I guess right now, we shall take you to the forbidden place.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
Nope, we are definitely gonna go this way. And again, the bloody balloons. Why the bloody balloon?
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
What? This was not here. This was not here before. Right? Hi. Bucket, we're gonna have to take a little bit of a detour. I hope you don't mind falling from great heights. Do you? No, surely not. 'Cause I see a Stanley figurine. We have 1 out of 6. Are there 4 more? Surely. It's glorious.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these.
I'm okay
Only
with that.
The intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
I'll take
you
it.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
It is very gorgeous indeed. And other than that, yeah, just falling to our doom. Also, this is not safe. It's also impossible, but it's not safe. Anyway, oh, bloody hell, that's dark. Do we just... Oh. Where are we? Where are we? This is new. Someone has made a mess of the place. Okay, what the hell is going on here? Narrator sound system? Okay.
Okay, this is day number 295. Take number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore.
Is this us?
The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
It's reassurance.
No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it.
Well, it's a bucket. Buckets are questionable.
Haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure?
You treasure it.
I can monetize it.
But then you have to put it down.
Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
No, you hold the bucket to yourself.
This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What the hell is going on? What kind of horror entity do we unleash? I am officially weirded out. What the hell? What? Okay. Are we good? I think we're good. Well then. I need some reassurance. I definitely need
How long
some
was I sitting there?
reassurance.
Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
No, we need to make a note on how we shall not let go of the bucket. Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the But okay, I want to go to the meeting room because figurines. But I also want to bring you to the forbidden place. You're coming along with
Stanley
me.
lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed
Wonderful,
over him.
wonderful, wonderful. Now I want to go to the meeting room. But that throws off all my plans. And no, we're gonna go to the right.
Stanley
Cargo
clutched
lift.
the bucket tightly to his chest.
We
This was
go
not the correct
where
way
we're
to the
not
meeting
supposed to
room,
go.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
'Cause you wanna
telling
go there,
him
right,
that
Buckets?
The employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
Buckets,
Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
buckets.
Was it no?
You
Never
are coming
mind.
along with me.
The bucket was wrong.
But why wouldn't buckets
Stanley
be
took
allowed
the door
past
on
that
his left
point?
to go back to the meeting room.
Why would a bucket not be allowed past this
No.
point?
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Like
The
over there?
Cargo lift, yes. Go there.
And
go
then-
to the cargo lift.
And then we jump off, right, cargo lift? Or bucket? Sorry, I'm
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
up
Stanley did
there,
not question
or?
why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
No, indeed
It
not.
should
It's
have
normal.
alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
Yes, they can.
But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Nope. Well, technically we did. We went to the top, but then we went down here, and everything is fine. Because you say no buckets past this point. Well, not here. Well, it was down below. You say no buckets past this point. I say yes buckets past this point. We do not care that you...
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see?
I
There's a
can't
sign
read.
Right there. It says, no buckets past this
No,
point.
I don't see anything.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point.
Would
Which,
it?
if that's true, well, my goodness. I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
Is it?
Please, step in here for a moment.
What? I want to go over here. Okay, fine. You have it your way. Where are we going? It's dark. Is this a bucket? Is it?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios.
Is this a
and
game
you'll
show?
Tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
It's a game show.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Okay.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Well, difficult question, audience. Very difficult question. Is this a bucket? Or is it a mimic? It could be a mimic. You never know. Well, I guess yes, that is a bucket.
Incorrect.
What?
It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Well, it's still a bucket. It's still a bucket. Also, good hologram.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Can it hold something? Then it is a bucket. Right?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes. Absolutely. How could it not?
Correct.
Oh,
This is a bucket.
is it though? Is it? Now I questioned whether or not that was a bucket.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Of course it's a bucket. I mean, can it hold stuff? Yes. Then surely it must be a bucket.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor.
No, it's
an
a bucket.
enormous machine that tills the earth.
We call
I
it
thought this was a
buckets.
gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Let's just move on to the next one.
Oh my god.
Is this a bucket?
Yes, it's a hologram for buckets.
Correct. This is a bucket.
How? How? Oh my god.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes. It's always a
Trick question.
bucket.
Both. Gotcha.
I am that good. Even trick questions don't faze me.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Just put anything on the conveyor belt and I'll call it a bucket. It's a bucket.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here.
Are you sure,
And I
though?
don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Could nothing be a bucket? I mean, if we truly wanted to be nothing, then it couldn't need to be a bucket. But if a bucket could truly be nothing, then is the bucket even worth anything to us? I'd say the answer is yes. Nothing is a bucket.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out.
Yep, me too.
I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments
need to find
ago, I could
out.
answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift.
We gaslit each
Any
other.
of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Maybe a bucket of knowledge.
Stanley, I can't keep doing
Yes,
this.
you are a bucket.
I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
Why would it
I
do
can't have
that?
I'm sorry.
What?
But I'm going to erase all
No.
buckets from the game.
No, no,
Okay, here we go.
no. You will not erase my bucket.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Yeah, because everything
Why
is a
did everything
bucket.
disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Yes.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
They didn't just want to
My
tell
God,
you.
I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
Well, that's your
And you,
problem.
Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
Well, that's your problem
This is
too.
wonderful news. We're not buckets.
We should be.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now.
Do
It's
you?
delightful to get some clarity on that issue.
Yeah, but what about
it doesn't change
buckets?
the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what.
I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Fine.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket.
Good.
But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person?
But maybe if they
All
are a
right, here we
bucket,
go.
then they should know. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go through the entire game. Every single ending with a bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Why is my
What
office
could it
being
mean?
weird again?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
At least the bucket is here, but why is my office being weird
The
again?
confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away
No,
as
no,
Stanley
no.
embraced
The confusion and chaos are still here, even with the buckets. It makes it a little bit less, but it's still here. Definitely still here.
bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
But now I do wonder what happens if we say no to everything. Nothing is a bucket. I really have to go through everything again and just figure it out. I want to know. We're going back to the game show.
Whatever the bucket asked.
Nothing is a bucket. Buckets need to be kept safe. Safe from those prying eyes. Nothing
No, stop.
is
Look
a
there on the
bucket.
wall. You see, there's
Nope.
a sign right there.
This
It
is
says,
not a bucket.
No buckets
Nope.
past
There are
this
no
point.
buckets here.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
There is no bucket
Unless-
here.
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket?
I am
and
well
what
aware of
isn't
what is a bucket and what
I suppose
isn't.
that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness.
Again,
I
your
think we have
problem.
to do something about it.
Yes, 'cause
This
nothing is a bucket.
misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
Well, let's find out.
Step in here for a moment.
By all means. Is this a bucket?
Now
No,
then,
that is just
I'm going
a
to run you
stage.
through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Can I leave this place?
Simply enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know
Nope,
about
can't
what
leave.
is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Is this a bucket? The answer is always no.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Nope.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket.
Good.
Not an actual bucket.
Although, to be fair, this might even result in the same exact ending
Item
as before.
2. Is this a bucket?
No, this is a 3D printed bucket.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
But now, thus begs the question, is this a bucket? Am I gonna say yes, because it is actually a
Item
bucket?
3. Is this a bucket?
Or am I gonna say no, and then possibly realize that this might actually just be an exact replica of the previous ending? I'm gonna say no. Everything is not a bucket. There are no buckets here.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
No, I am not holding a bucket. Nothing is a bucket. I just want to know what happens.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No, of course not. There are no buckets. Buckets are a lie.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket.
It's a beautiful
To be honest,
tractor.
I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme.
Oh, did
I was
you now?
starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
Next one.
How is it even on there? Well, that's obviously
this a
not a
bucket?
bucket. Why would that be a bucket?
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
The simple idea of a bucket is a simple lie.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Of course not.
Trick question. Both.
No, if it is
Gotcha.
both, then it means that it is partly bucket, but there's no such thing as a bucket.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one.
Well,
Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
It's not a bucket. Of course it's not a bucket. Again, who told you that buckets were even a thing? Lies, I tell ya.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here.
Yeah, nothing
Of
is
course
a
it isn't
bucket.
a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait,
When I say nothing isn't a bucket,
That means
that
nothing
makes
is
it
a
sound like
bucket.
I'm saying everything is a bucket, which
Yes.
of course is not true.
Exactly.
Unless, is that what you think?
No.
Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No, there are no buckets. Buckets are a lie.
You know
You
what?
know it too.
I'm too confused to even sort it out.
I think it's the
I've
exact
lost
same as
all
before.
sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is?
I think it's
Am
the exact
I
same as
a
before.
bucket?
Yep. Well, no,
Stanley, I can't keep doing
you're not a
this.
bucket.
I'm losing myself, and
I'm
myself
losing
was all I
myself.
ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
You have just
I
got
can't
something
have that.
against
I'm sorry.
buckets. I'm leaving this
I'm going
place.
to erase
Goodbye.
all buckets from the game entirely.
Well, we know
Okay,
where that
here we
leads
go.
you. Right back to me.
The bucket. That thing is both mistake and a lie. For it is so much more than just a bucket. It can't be trusted. It can't be set free. The big guy is already lost and can no longer be saved. Beware the bucket.